Wow. Malaga is probably the most underrated city in Spain, but so many travelers skip it, and that's a mistake. A 1,000-year-old fortress overlooking the sea, a vibrant city center packed with tapas bars.
Oh, wow. The tasties are just super fresh.
That's just the tip of the Malaga iceberg. In this video, we'll show you 15 of the best stops.
I think this is the best meal we had in Malaga.
So that by the end, you'll have an easy plan for 3 incredible days in Malaga. Did you know Malaga is one of the oldest cities in the world, almost as old as Rome. So this entire old town here is packed with incredible architecture, like the cathedral right here behind me. Spain started building this in 1528 and they worked on it for 254 years. This ceiling is 140 feet high. You can easily fit a 10-story building in here. And also, most of the cathedrals in Europe are very light, very breezy, but this one with all the stone has this dark and powerful feel to it. Despite the fact they spent 254 years building the cathedral, Spain never actually finished it. It only has one tower. The second one never got built because the locals say they sent the money to America in the 18th century to help America win its independence from Britain. Hashtag priorities. Just 5 minutes down from the cathedral, you can try one of Spain's naughtiest breakfasts. They don't just make the thin kind of strudels, they have these giant fluffy ones. I've never tried this before. How do you eat this elegantly though? It's so soft. This is genius. Like, this really absorbs all the chocolate, whereas for the thin kind, it kind of just sits on top. My God, so amazing. We have 14 more places to show you, and the next one is one of the highlights of Malaga. For almost 800 years, this region, Andalusia, was not Spanish. It was actually ruled by Muslims. An invading army had swept in from North Africa and conquered pretty much all of Spain. And this here was one of their great strongholds, the Alcazaba of Malaga, a 1,000-year-old fortress, one of the best preserved in the country today. On the inside, this is pretty much a palace.
They've got all these gardens here, these fountains, and it's all the way up the hill, so you have a beautiful view across the city and the Mediterranean Sea as well.
Now, at some point in the 1400s, the King and Queen of Spain were like, you know what? No, this is our country and we are taking it back, which they did city by city in what is now known as the Spanish Reconquista. When they finally arrived here in Malaga, they gave the city one chance to surrender, but the Muslim commander Ahmed el-Zegri refused, and that led to one of the most brutal parts of the entire Reconquista. For 3.5 months, the Spanish armies blocked the harbor of Malaga. They hammered the city walls with cannons. This fortress was the heart of the city's defenses, but when Malaga finally fell, 11,000 people, everyone living inside its city walls, were sold as slaves. So the message to the remaining Muslim kingdoms was very clear. You mess with us, and this is what happens. A few years later, Spain was back to being 100% Spanish and 100% a Christian country.
If you come here, 2 important tips. First one, come early in the morning because it gets hotter during the day, especially in summer. This is one of the most sunny places in the world, 300 days of sunshine a year. And the second one is come with a guide, because there are no signs here explaining what you're looking at. We booked this on GetYourGuide. It's a 1.5 hour tour with an amazing guide called Salvador. He told us so many interesting stories about the fortress and the history. We usually book our tours on GetYourGuide because you can see the reviews there of people who have actually been there. This one has over 6,000 reviews, 4.7 star rating, so you just know it's going to be good. We'll put all the links of the things we're doing in Malaga in the description box below so you can book it yourself.
We're on our way to lunch now, but remember how I said Malaga is almost as old as Rome? Well, they even have their own Roman theater down here, right underneath the Alcazaba. This is almost 2,000 years old. We stopped here on the tour as well. This used to be all covered in marble with statues. 2,000 people could fit into this arena and come here to watch music concerts and plays. So cool.
Alright, we've ordered ourselves a little feast here. Look at this. Like, tapas are the best thing you can eat in Spain because you can order what you want. And one thing I always order are these prawns. You can taste these are just super fresh.
Calamares!
Oh wow, gracias. One thing we always order as well, are patatas bravas. These are fried potatoes with a spicy sauce on it.
This is a slice of bread with some spicy sauce on there and then blood sausage. You can see it also has some rice in there, which gives it a really creamy texture. And then you have a small quail's egg on top. Wow, it's such a flavor explosion in your mouth. And then in summertime, Spain gets hot, especially here in Andalusia. So what do people do? They have this gazpacho, which is a cold tomato soup, and it is one of my favorite things to have in summer. It just cools you right down.
I really love that you can just sit outside, enjoy the beautiful weather that Malaga has to offer. Oh my god, we need to try this.
So far, we've shown you some of the highlights, the cathedral, the Alcazaba, but we haven't really shown you the Old Town, and it's one of the best areas in Malaga. People often underestimate how beautiful the Old Town of Malaga is. It has all these winding little narrow streets with a lot of shade to keep the city nice and cool during the hot Andalusian summers. So it's a really nice city to stroll around in. Calle Larios is the main street of Malaga, and I just love that the entire floor seems to be marble, super fancy, but it is also home to some extremely authentic and local spots. I'm gonna show you one right now.
Look at this. This is Antigua Casa de Guardia, an old school bar where you have all these wine barrels filled with sherry, sweet wine, vermouth, all these local liquors. This is what we have. Kim has a vermouth. And I have something very local from Malaga, pajarete. It's like a strong, sweet wine.
This is such an old school spot. I absolutely love it. And what's also really old school is that they track your tap by writing it on the bar in front of you in chalk. Even Picasso has been to this bar because he was actually born in Malaga. Tomorrow we're actually gonna go to the Picasso Museum as well. But first, we have a very special surprise that we're gonna do next. We're gonna do a cruise. Look, I bought a hat for our cruise.
Now we're hat friends.
We're now on the way to the harbor of Malaga. This is actually a super walkable city. Not only is it pretty, but I think all of the main sides are kind of like only a 5 or 10 minute walk away from each other. Whereas if you go to Barcelona, Madrid, sometimes you have to hike across town for like an hour or take a 30-minute metro ride to get anywhere.
I just love looking at these super yachts here in the marina. That one over there is the Lady Mura. It was last sold for $125 million. It houses 100 people, and the lettering you see on there is completely covered in gold. I just need to save up a little bit more, like 999.999 million, and then I'm pretty close,
Now it is time for something that I have been looking forward to for days. One of the big advantages that Malaga has over other cities in the region of Andalusia, like Seville or Granada, is you have the beautiful Mediterranean Sea, and we're gonna do a cruise that takes us out on the water. Oh, I think this is our boat right here, actually, this beautiful big catamaran. Are you ready? Because I am so ready. Remember how we said Malaga was so nice and easy to travel? Well, I kind of feel like this cruise is the icing on the cake. It's a super comfortable boat, these views are incredible, and they serve tinto, sangria, pretty much everything you could want right here on the boat.
It's just so relaxing being out on the water, enjoying the sunset, having a drink or two.
Chilling out on the water, this is so amazing. One of my favorite things actually that we've done today.
Yeah.
The reason why we chose this boat is because it's not a party boat filled with 18-year-olds. It was nice and spacious, really relaxed. We saw some of the other boats and they looked pretty cramped, so I'm really happy we took this one. We booked it through GetYourGuide like we do with all our tours. They have over 100,000 tours and activities in cities all around the world, so pretty much anything you could want to do in Malaga, they're gonna have it, and you can book everything in one place, which we really love because I don't want to have to go to 5 different websites and sort through all the tours and stuff. So if you want to check them out, go here.
Alright, we're starting off the day right here at Next Level Specialty Coffee. Apparently someone, I'm not gonna say who, but she might be behind the camera, claims you can't eat churros every morning. So we decided to come for brunch and do it Spanish style. This is a beautiful looking toast with some tomato on there, some Spanish jamon, some aguacate and an egg.
We were only a 10-minute walk from our next stop, which is going to be the Picasso Museum.
300 days of sunshine in Malaga, but today is the day it starts raining. We chose the perfect day. We are the lucky ones. Let's go. 2 minutes later, I need to get out my sunglasses again.
The most famous person born in Malaga was Pablo Picasso, the world famous painter. He actually lived in that building on the corner of the square. Even as a teenager, he was a real childhood prodigy because he could already paint and draw things that would take most artists a lifetime to master. Which is why they say when you rub his head, you get a little bit of his creativity, and when you rub his... So what do you do when you've mastered art that young? You invent a whole new way of painting. The Picasso Museum shows his evolution from totally traditional to one of the most rebellious rule breakers in art history. After his best friend shot himself, for years Picasso's work was all blue. Then he fell in love and the blue warmed to pink. Until later in Paris, he helped invent Cubism. These are faces broken into fragments shown from several angles at once. This, for example, is his take on a woman. Picasso became the most famous artist on earth and kept painting until he died at 91.
Few quick tips. We had a bit of a lazy Spanish style morning and we kind of lounged around breakfast a bit. So we got here around noon and there was already a big queue here. So best time to come here is right when it opens at 10 a.m. It's about 45 to 60 minutes to get through it, but it's a really good museum. The thing I really like is that they have a lot of explanations on the wall in English and Spanish, so you can kind of follow the whole history of Picasso's work and how he evolved in his style. Luckily, these tickets are also available on GetYourGuide. If you want to get the same tickets we did, link in the description box below.
So before lunch, we are doing a quick pit stop in the Mercado de Atarazanas, the largest food market in all of Malaga. It's called Atarazanas after the shipyard that used to be here in the 1400s, and then in the 1800s they turned it into a market. If you come in for the main entrance on the left side, it's mostly fish and the fish looks amazing. There's lots of people trying small platters, they have squid, and then the other side of the market is mostly fresh produce. It looks incredible, but we want to have the fish with a view, so we're gonna go somewhere else.
Our guide yesterday, who lives in Malaga, said we need to come to a chiringuito. Chiringuito is a restaurant that is located on the beach here, and they have a tradition here. They have an open fire right on the beach where they grill up fresh fish. Just eat them like this, freshly grilled. It's so good, soft and tender. You can taste like the char in there a bit from the grill. This is what I love so much about the Spanish cuisine. Grilled sardines, a bit of lemon on the beach.
Mediterranean cuisine?
Mediterranean cuisine. Their house specialty is whole grilled fish. You can choose between 4 or 5 different kinds of fish and then they just give you some potatoes with it. Keep it simple, but again, the flavor is just really good.
So we have a day and a half left here in Malaga. What are we gonna do this afternoon? Your options are as follows. Either you come here to Malagueta Beach where you can rent 2 sunbeds and an umbrella for around 20 euros, or you can just sip a sangria on a beautiful square like Calle Granada, which is really nice, I think, to sit around and people watch. We were gonna do that, but then we realized there is one unresolved mystery. Up there is the Castillo, an old castle sitting on the top of a hill. This is one of the top 10 things to do in Malaga. We were gonna be lazy and just skip it because it's a bit of a walk to get up there, but we want to be able to tell you if it's worth it or not. So we're taking one for the team, people. We're going up there.
Who's we? We have fun, Kim. Bye-bye.
Discovering a little gem along the way. Look at this beautiful garden that we're in. So lush and green. Wow. If we continue walking that way and uphill, we will reach El Castillo. It always sounds like a good idea until you actually start climbing. Deeper than it looks, isn't it?
It's quite a trek. Wow, the view is spectacular up here. We've got the sea here, the harbor over there. Now you can like really grasp like what Malaga is and what makes it so special.
Right up until we entered the Castillo, I was like, I don't think this is that worth it. I mean, it's a bit of a walk, it's pretty steep, people don't need to come up here. But now being up here, walking on that wall with the view of the sea is incredible. However, if you're coming in summer, do this in the morning before it gets hot, because my god did we get sweaty. We noticed that there's also a bus that stops almost right in front of the fortress. So if you want to come up here, maybe check that out.
Tomorrow we're gonna take you on the most popular day trip in Malaga. We're gonna show you a beautiful traditional town up in the mountains. And then also tomorrow we're going to do the Caminito del Rey, which is probably one of the best cliff walks in the entire world you can do, and I'm so excited about it. But first we're going to one of the hippest, hottest restaurants in Malaga, which is owned by a famous Hollywood actor who was born right here in Malaga.
Antonio Banderas is one of Spain's biggest Hollywood stars, thanks to classics like Zorro. But before all that, he lived right here in Malaga. And these days, he's channeling all his success back into his hometown, opening several restaurants across the city. This one, La Pergola, sits right by the port, has sea views and a dreamy Mediterranean vibe.
Wow.
This is what I call Naick's truffle face.
This is huevos rotos, but traditionally it's made with fries and then an egg on top and then some jamon. But here they have it with tuna tartare and truffle. It's kind of like the very fancy version, but the flavors, it's just wow. I can't even describe it. Like, you should come here to find out.
And then we also have a tuna tartare toast. Antonio, if you ever see it, I highly approve of your cooking. It is amazing. I did not know Zorro could do this. Gracias.
I think this is the best meal we had in Malaga, and what's also super surprising, this is kind of like a fancy restaurant, a really nice place. It's actually very affordable.
I would say on average a dish here is about 2 to 3 euros more what you would pay somewhere else, but that the quality is really good, the view is banger. Today we are doing a day trip. Just 1 hour outside of Malaga, there's a walkway pinned to the side of an enormous cliff. It is one of the most famous landscapes in all of Spain, so we can't miss that. But before we get there, we're making a quick stop in Alhora, a beautiful hilltop town that gives you a completely different side of southern Spain. This is one of Andalusia's classic white towns. For centuries, people painted their houses like this because it was cheap, clean, and helped reflect the brutal summer sun. I really like it. It's so different compared to Malaga, and the scenery is amazing. Over the centuries, this little hilltop town has been shaped by Romans, Christians, and Muslims or Arabs.
The Arabic will be different group of people, Muslim, Berber, and Syrian, who came from the north of Africa and stayed in the peninsula 8 centuries. Andalusia is the first place they took and the last place they lived, so we have more heritage of that culture than any other one in all Spain. We have more than 6,000 words in Spanish who came from the Arabic language. The way we write the number, that also came from the Arabic language. You probably saw that in Andalusia we have a lot of orange trees on the streets. Also came from that culture.
That is Violeta. She is our guide on this day trip that we're doing. She showed us the church of Alhora, the fortress at the top. She is such an amazing guide, one of the best we've ever had. Not only is she super knowledgeable, but when she speaks, she's so entertaining and so animated that I really notice that I kind of lean in to listen to what she's gonna say next. After a quick lunch, we got back on the bus and made our way to El Caminito del Rey. Today, this is one of Spain's most famous walking trails, an Instagram sensation, but it was never built for tourists. In the early 1900s, a path was carved into these cliffs so that workers could move between hydroelectric power plants in the gorge below. For decades, it did exactly that. Then, it was abandoned, and without maintenance, huge sections collapsed. The handrails disappeared, the concrete crumbled away, and in some places only the steel support beams remained. What had once been a worker's path became known as the world's most dangerous walkway. And despite this, people kept coming. Several people lost their lives on the collapsed trail, and eventually the Spanish government was forced to shut the entire route down. Today, the path has actually been fully restored. So in 2015, the Spanish government was like, you know what? It was actually kind of nice the scenery up there, but we don't want people plummeting to their deaths, so we're gonna restore the path so anyone can access. And now it's very easy, very flat, very much roped off.
And Kim and Naick accessible. I'm not a mountain goat, nor do I aspire to be one.
This gorge began forming roughly 250 million years ago, long before even the first dinosaurs walked the earth. It is one of Spain's most incredible landscapes, and today hundreds of visitors come here every day, young and old, to enjoy it. So amazing.
Wow.
This canyon is super impressive. Like the drop below us, between us and the bottom of the ravine, where the river is like 200 feet, and there's so much more rock sticking out above us. It's crazy. And sometimes when you walk around, you can literally see parts of the old path, like the decayed daredevil path, if you will. If you want to do the exact tour, read it. It has incredible reviews. I will put all the links in the description box. If you're going to Barcelona on this trip as well, you can go and check out our 3 days in Barcelona video right here. Or if you want to know what scams to avoid when you come to Spain, go watch that video down here.